Dear children, today we are going to learn chapter number 17, was, were. These these words are also called helping verbs. We have already, if you remember, we have already learnt about is, am, and are. They are also used as helping verbs, which tells us about the states of things now, right? Now the same thing, when we have to talk or say something, or someone's state of being in the past, okay, then we use was and were. So let's get started. We will do one activity, then you will understand the difference between the was and were usage. Let's get started. Circle the doing words which show what Ela did yesterday. So we have to talk about all those things that she did yesterday, not now. Today it is about the past, right? So yesterday Ela was in the toy store with her mother. So where was she? Yesterday she was in the toy store. So which word tells us that it is about yesterday? Was. So circle that. There were colorful cars and pretty dolls. So here, where do we which word tells us about the state of being? There were is the helping verb in the past. Then Ela was very happy. So which word tells us the state of being? Was. So again circle that. Now today is Ela's birthday. So here the helping verb tells what that tells us about the state of being is, but it is talking about the present, or what is going to happen in the tomorrow is Ela's birthday, so it is not about the past. Okay, so we will not circle is. I want a pretty doll and a cake, she tells mother. So now in this only was and were talks about the past. So circle all those words. So you remember children, when we talk of one thing, one subject, that is Ela, then we are using was with it. But when we say colorful cars and pretty dolls, we are talking about many. So that's why we are using were. Clear? So that's the difference between was and were. Was and were are used for past tense, but the difference between these two verbs are was is used for singular subject and were is used for plural subject. Okay children, but with you we always use were. Whether it is talking about one person or one thing, we use were only. For singular and plural, we always say you were only. We don't say you was. That's a wrong usage. Now these are some rules that you have to keep in mind, and keep reading, drill your mouth to these phrases, this usage of the verbs. So was and were tells us how or what something was before. Okay, we use was to talk about one person or thing. We use were to talk about more than one person or thing. Now look at this table, for you will understand it better. I was late. He was late. She was late. It was late. Samir was late. Aisha was late. Now in the first column, first row, we see all the subjects are in singular. So that's why we are using was with it. Now look at the second row. We were late. You were late. They were late. Viren and Tanya were late. Now see here, all the subjects here, we, you, they, Viren and Tanya, all are plural because Viren and Tanya are two people here. Okay, so that's why we are using were with it. So this is the difference children. You have to remember it well. Now let's do some exercises. Exercise A, fill in the blanks with was or were. Now you have to check the subject for this usage. He was a part of the football team because he is a singular subject. Again, number 2, they is plural, so we say they were in Kolkata yesterday. Number 3, we, see the subject is plural, so we are using were with it. We were at home all day. Number 4, it was hot in the afternoon. It is singular, so we say was. Number 5, the baby was asleep. The baby is singular subject, so was. Number 6, Meeta was not at home. Meeta is singular subject, so we use was. The toy is singular subject, so we have to use was. The toy was broken. Number 8, my book is singular. One book we are talking about, so it is was with it. My book was with her. Mark all these answers in your book and write them well in your copy and learn it also. Now, exercise B. Rewrite the sentences correctly using was or were. Number 1. Ray was 7 years old last year. Now, Ray is singular person, so we say was. Number 2. Shreya was late. See children, in the book it is given as Shreya were, so we have to correct it to was. Number 3, Mehir, it is written as were in the book, so we have to correct it to Mehir was in a cinema hall. Number 4, they was at the park. That is what the question given in your book, but you have to write it as they were at the park. Number 5, I were in an apple orchard. It is given in the book like this, so were is a wrong usage here, so remove that and write was there in its place. So now for question number 1, in the book it is written as Ray is 7 years old last year. We are talking about last year, and with that we cannot use is, so we have to say Ray was 7 years old last year. So I hope you have understood all these exercises and the use of was and were. Keep practicing children and write them well in your copy and book and learn it well for your exam. That's all for today children. Take care.